the comeback. We back. I don't know what took us so long, but yeah, we're not dead. We're still here. The heat wave didn't kill us. Uh, we didn't die by guns. We didn't. We're still here. We're still living, I guess. So here's the match. Cheers, even though we've been missing you guys so much.
Zach, I missed you. I missed you more than anybody else. That's all I'm gonna say right there. But yeah, hello everyone. Zach McAdoo is to my well.
Other way.
There
Point
we
the
go.
other
There
way.
we
You
go.
gotta
There
learn
we
like
go.
I did.
Hey, I'm sorry. It's been a while. I'm getting my feet wet here again. I forgot how to host a show. I forgot how to set up a stream. It took us like half an hour just to go live here today. But Burnt Rubber Racing is back. NASCAR just had its bye week. They're coming back to race at Nashville this weekend. So we figured, why the heck not? Let's pop on. Let's come back ourselves. Don't call it a comeback, baby. Zach's obviously chipper. He's got the Mountain Dew. I just got water. So plain old me over here. But man, how have you been? I know you're working overnights. Have you been keeping up with the NASCAR season? We're 16 races in. I guess that's a silly question to ask you. I know you're always keeping up on it, even if you're watching it at work. You know, those night races on Saturday night. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Okay, because you brought it up, I'm going to talk about it. And since I'm wearing Reddick stuff, I have to say, so Easter Sunday, we had the dirt race, right? So I'm standing there watching the race. Reddick's leading late in the race, and I told you I have the scanner and everything for this year. And I know for those of you who have been following, I know I'm sorry, but again, with these overnights and me trying to get up on time, it kind of messes with me trying to put polls out and follow along, which I try to do my best, but sometimes I just can't do it. So that week I didn't do it. I was like, screw it. I'm listening to Reddick. He's leading late in the race, like 2 to go. And I just hear him go to say, don't let him get your back bumper. Don't let him get your back bumper. Final lap comes. It comes down to that last corner. And I just hear, guess it, guess it, guess it, guess it, guess it. Fuck! And I was just like, what just happened? Because the scanner's ahead of what you see on TV. I see what happened. I dropped to my knees. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like,
this is at work. This is in the hotel, correct?
This is before beautiful. This is before my shift is supposed to start. Like, I'm there at 10:50. I'm not supposed to get there until 11. And I see Kyle Busch go right up past Tyler Reddick. I'm just like, what start? Like, this is really how we're going to start it? Like, mother. I was so, like, I don't blame Chase Briscoe either. Like, you had to go for it. I'm not, even Reddick said he wasn't mad. So, I mean, why should Reddick fans be mad at that? But I had to bring it up because, like, really, like,
yeah, that's a beautiful sight. I wish I.
It's not. It wasn't a beautiful sight. I was on the verge of tears.
I don't care about the race. I just want to see you, like, having your scanner and then dropping to your knees in a hotel lobby. That's good stuff. I just remember too, Martinsville, that night race, I believe it was, right? It was a Saturday, and you're putting story. You got all the TVs around the lobby, seeing them on your story. It's just, what is this guy doing? He's not doing any work.
I was doing work.
You're still employed, right?
Yeah, I'm still employed.
Yeah, there you go. So he's still got his.
I gotta go to work
gig,
tonight,
ladies and gentlemen. There you go. So we're gonna talk a little bit of racing now, I guess. Then before Mr. Hotel lobby manager over here has to go in and work the overnight shift. 16 races into this Cup Series season, Zach. I think that's what we'll primarily focus on here with this episode, just as we're trying to get our feet back into the swing of doing a show. I guess that's what we're trying to do here. It's been a while. But hey, 16 races in. Cup Series just had their first and only bye week of the season. And normally they have two, but of course they raced on Easter this year. So only one bye week. We got 10 races left in the regular season, and then it's off to the playoffs. So this, coming back here to Nashville, I know it seems like kind of, we're in the dog days almost, it feels like, getting into summertime. There's not a whole lot of sports going on. But as far as the regular season for NASCAR is concerned in this playoff push, I mean, we're really hitting the stretch run here, even though the broadcast that's another note. Broadcast shift from Fox to NBC this week, so tune in accordingly. Don't go to the wrong channel. You won't find the Ally 400 on Fox. But
race preview provided by Zach McAdoo on FlairSports.org.
That's true. Yes, there is a race schedule up. You know what? People should have known we weren't dead, unless people were like writing articles, impostoring our names, or like stealing our identity or whatever. Because there has been written content going up over in that NASCAR section at FlairSports.org. It's been going up each week. So.
Yeah, maybe Zach Bruner just decided to sign into Zach McAdoo and just start taking over.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? We won't go there. We won't take too many cheap shots at Bruner.
No, I will say. Let me say this: I have the most viewed article this month so far, and that surprised the hell out of me, especially since it's SRX.
Yeah, Zach's doing a little SRX writing over there this year too, so we can talk about that a little bit here towards the end of the show if you want. But anyways, getting back to what I was talking about here, we're getting into the stretch run of this Cup Series season. 16 races deep. We got 12 different winners. The top of the point standings too. This is something that stood out to me when I was doing standings update article last week. So it was following the Sonoma race, and you can read that again over at FlairSports.org. But the top of these standings is really tightened up. What was a huge lead for Chase Elliott in the points has been cut drastically. Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch, both hot on his trail. Joey Logano, I believe, is working up there as well. So I guess I'll just ask you, what are some, a few top of mind observations that you've had here throughout the first half of the season, kind of where things stand now as we get set to resume this week at Nashville. Some things, analysis. I think you already had a best moment falling on your knees in the hotel over Tyler Reddick. But if there's another one that stood out to you, just general first half observations from you, Zach, on the season.
All right, so I'm just going to start with the best moment because it just happened last. If not for what happened last week, it was going to be Kurt Busch's win at Kansas and how everyone at 23-11, like they celebrated like heavily. Even Denny Hamlin coming over, like everyone just congratulated Kurt Busch. But the fact of the matter is, Daniel Suarez, this man waited 85, I think it was, races for his win, and finally he gets the checkered flag. He keeps it, and what my favorite line is, because I was ahead of the scanner again, is, "Where's my piñata, boys?" And just F yeah, the whole like parade laugh. I mean, I just love Daniel Suarez. He's a guy. It's hard not to root for him, and he definitely earned it 2 Sundays ago.
Yeah, just the fact that on that cool down lap, it seemed like I think pretty much everyone in the field either slowed down when they got up next to him or like gave him a bump or whatever. He's well liked throughout the garage, and what'd you say, 195 races? How many different race teams? 4, I think, at this point. 5?
JGR,
might be more.
Gaunt, SHR, Trackhouse.
Yeah, so 4. But yeah, good to finally see Daniel Suarez get in victory lane. Definitely a big boost to confidence for him going forward. I almost feel like with Daniel Suarez, just to further your point, and you can disagree with this if you want, but now that first one has been achieved, I almost feel like there's going to be at least a couple more this season. Like that's almost the vibe I get here, because think about how many races in the first half of this season. That 99 team was strong. Like they were fast, and it just was bad break after bad break. It seemed like, whether it was equipment failing, getting caught up in a wreck, somebody else is doing whatever, untimely cautions that were setting them back, bad pit stops. I feel like Suarez has got at least one more win in him. Like I will put, if we're going over or under 0.5 more wins for Daniel Suarez this season, I would take the over on that. What do you think? Am I being a little bullish here?
No, I think as far as like Trackhouses look spectacular on the road courses. I mean, you go back to Ross Chastain's first win. You go back. I mean, Trackhouse has 2 wins on road courses this year. And there's, let's see, Indy, Road America, Watkins Glen, the Roval. There's 4 more still to come in the schedule. So, I mean, I think you could definitely, like, if you're going to pinpoint one, you can definitely pinpoint one of those. Suarez came very close at Daytona last year. He was coming with Harvick last year. At the end of that race, they got wrecked late coming to the backstretch with that run. So I mean, don't count him out. Suarez is definitely gonna get another checker flag this year because I mean, as they've shown, once it's tough getting that first one, but after you get that first one, more wins come.
Definitely agree with you. You know what's kind of ironic to me too about both Chastain and Suarez getting their first career wins on the road courses in Trackhouse cars is think back to last year for a minute with me, Zach. Trackhouse was, of course, only running one car. That was the 99 with Suarez. But correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they expire in like 3 different road course races last year? Like they had to pull the car out because like the shifting broke or something. Like, and here they are going out. They're the best team.
I know, like for two of the road courses, like I had Suarez in my DFS lineups, and it's like, and then he went out Daytona screwed up, and then Sonoma there's a problem. It's like, okay, that's great, but I mean,
Coda, same thing. There were at least 3 that I distinctly remember. So yeah, it is crazy what is happening. I mean, Trackhouse racing to me, if we're talking about a story of the season so far, it is easily that race team. And I know McAdoo's going to sit here and say, well, you're biased, Henry, because, Ross Chastain's your boy. Well, you know what? Now Ross Chastain's the boy of a lot of other NASCAR fans as well. I was here before that first checker flag came along. Thank you very much. But, I mean, both of these cars are fast on a consistent basis, near weekly basis. I mean, even last week, right? Chastain is in the top 10 following Suarez as he gets the win. So I think really you have to look at both of these drivers as legitimate players in the hunt for a championship this season. I think Suarez would benefit from getting a couple more stage wins maybe here and there to boost his playoff standing ahead of time. But the updated futures odds board definitely reflect Chastain as being a viable contender. And to me, Suarez, now that it's almost like now that he's popped the cherry, I view him very highly. So
is that a term we could use?
I don't know.
We are YouTube affiliate. We are making one up for YouTube now. We have to be careful what we say.
That's true. Somebody let me know in the chat, I guess, if we shouldn't be saying such things. Remember, I forgot how to host. It says in the show description, I'm trying to relearn how to host a podcast / live stream. So
demonetized.
I'm sorry. Zach, what are we doing? Are we playing a game today? Let's should we look at some playoff tiers? Is that what we're doing? What do you got up your sleeve?
I don't know. Is it up? I can't tell. This is great. This is going swimmingly, don't you think? Did I freeze?
You did there for a hot second, but I think you're back. You're moving a little slow, but is this what you need me to share?
Share the screen.
Here we go. Did I do this right? I did. Look at that.
No, but screen went great.
Don't freeze.
There we go. Okay. So, we all know the tier, know how it works and whatnot. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put all of these drivers, except these not applicable, in tiers for what we think are championship material, playoff caliber, outside looking in, and not even close. So, Henry and I discussed this first guy before we even got it there, but I think we're going to put Cody Ware not even close.
Yeah, and actually before Zach changed the green section, it was like, what did it say? Rick Ware caliber. I mean, Cody Ware is literally Rick Ware caliber. So he's not making the playoffs. Sorry to break it to everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So where do we want to start? Do we want to start at the bottom and work our way up, or do we want to work just numerical?
We can start at the bottom. That works. Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, not even close.
All right.
I think so in that category because they, for obvious reasons, live fast. It's not live fast.
BJ McLeod doesn't even run a full schedule, so he's not going to make the playoffs.
I thought he was a full schedule guy. Okay. So he goes back and not applicable. That goes back to me not paying attention, I guess. Rory LaJoy, as I called him on one of my live streams, not live streams, but my Twitch streams, because there's a lot goes on in my streams. Rory LaJoy is going to be not even close because obvious reasons. Cole Custer. What do you think?
Oh man, this is crazy for me to say, but I have to put him in not even close. Like, what has he done this year?
Nothing. Like, they've talked about him twice.
He literally he runs these races. He's almost like a Corey LaJoy out there. I think he's finished a lot more than LaJoy. Like, and I mean, I'm sorry to put it bluntly, but yeah, Custer's not getting in. He's at 262 points right now. I just pulled up the standings to help myself out here a little bit. That is worse than he's 8 points worse than Ty Dillon, to put that in perspective. And 21 points.
I would put Ty Dillon in this. Close.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He's 21 points ahead as all of Harrison Burton. So I think that says a lot about what Cole Custer's doing.
All right, so we're just going to move this one along about Brad Keselowski's 30th in points. He needs a win to get in. Corey LaJoy is actually 31st, and Cody Ware is 32nd. So just to help you guys
currently,
out,
they wouldn't be eligible. Yeah.
Yeah, they with a win, they're out. Has Cody Ware even raced all the races? 16 starts.
Cody Ware is a full-time starter.
Okay, just making sure.
Change that around. Question for you. Can Brad Keselowski get a win, though? Remember how strong RFK was at Daytona? We got another Atlanta race. We got some road courses.
He's not.
RFK,
I don't see
two top 10 finishes at Sonoma 2 weeks ago.
I don't see him getting a win at Atlanta. I feel
it. Okay.
I could see it at Daytona because of how strong they were there. I just don't see it at Atlanta. All right.
Okay.
Bubba Wallace.
How much pressure's on this guy right now? I mean, seriously, Kurt Busch has a win. He's throwing down solid finishes, seems like every other week. And, I mean, Bubba Wallace is, the face of his own little side of NASCAR, I guess. And I'll leave it at that because we're trying to be YouTube friendly here, I guess, on this first episode back. But, I mean, the results are not there. And he cannot drive road courses. And we've got 3 of them still in the 10 races remaining. I know we got a Daytona race. I know we got an Atlanta race. He's got to win to get in. And I mean, spin a roulette wheel. I don't think he's going to win.
No, and that's where it comes. Like, you have to, for a lot of these guys, you have to get that win at Daytona, which you can also add in Atlanta now. But then again, I still think you need to have the horsepower to do it, which he does.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see where else. Where do we draw the line at? Is Ricky Stenhouse not even close or outside looking in?
Oh man. I am gonna draw the line at Bubba Wallace because Ricky Stenhouse Jr. had that run of top 10s. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I think could go out and earn a fluky win at one of these tracks, like that team is fast enough, and with the way he drives, you know, I think he could earn a surprise win. The super speedways are in play for him, obviously. And also just looking at the standings, it's kind of funny. Rick Stenhouse is 248 back of the points lead. So we'll put the cutoff for not even close at 250 points. Bubba Wallace 252 out.
It leaves us at least 8. That's 8 drivers on the outside looking in.
Okay, so are you doing this
Haley
with our Are you doing this with our expectations or where we're at right now?
Well, I'm just moving them up for now, like.
Okay, all right.
Because right now, do you see Harvick make the playoffs? I mean, Grant, it's between him and Almirola right now for points, with Harvick 7 out, and I think Reddick, Dillon might need wins to get in.
I would agree with that, especially AD3. Kind of lump him in that must-win range. He's only 8 points ahead of Eric Jones. So, which Eric Jones, you know, if we want to talk about overachieving, I would love to see that team get in because they've done more with less, I would dare say, this year. And I'm assuming you would agree with me on that. But it is, unfortunately, I think, going to take a win at this point.
Yes, I think you're down to these two here. Actually, not even that. It's down to these two for in the last spot on points.
Mm-hmm.
And the way things are going now, you have to kind of give the nod to the 10 car.
Do you, though?
Maybe I'm trying to be unbiased.
I feel like you're being a pessimistic fan.
I mean,
here's what I'll say. Almirola already said this is going to be his last full-time season. Is he going to is he going to tap into that? This is his last season. I want to make the playoffs type thing. I want to, have a shot to compete for a championship on my way out. Is that going to motivate him versus Kevin Harvick, who, I dare say I would give him the edge in every other facet of this, just in terms of, career body of work. His average finish recently at so many of these tracks is still utterly ridiculous, even though he hasn't won a race in going on 2 years. And to be honest with you, it would not shock me if both of these guys find victory lane before the end of the regular season. And I'm being completely honest.
I hope
you got
you're
a
right.
New Hampshire in there. You got a New Hampshire in there where Almirola won last year. You got Nashville where they were both top 5. That's this week. We'll get into that more here in a little bit. You've got, Kevin Harvick, not terrible on these road courses. Sonoma was pretty impressive last week. You never know if some curb flies up at Indianapolis again or whatever, because, we can't just run the Brickyard 400 like the old days. Maybe Kevin Harvick's one of the 5 cars that doesn't have damage at the end of that race. Who knows? So.
Yeah, well, all right. Put them both under playoff caliber.
I like that.
It could go either way. All right. Now we have playoff guys who are pretty much confirmed, but yet not. Chastain, he's championship material. I think you can't. There's no way you can argue that he is not championship.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah, no, you're not.
I've been saying that for a year.
Kurt Busch doesn't have it. Doesn't quite have it for this team. I think maybe one more year. But I still think there's too many inconsistencies at 23-11.
No, I agree. Yeah.
All right.
I think what just stands out to me is that there's a whole tier separating the 223-11 drivers. And that's just, again, the 23 has got to start showing up. I know Kurt's not doing great on points. And I think going back to your point, it's the weekly inconsistencies, right? But when 23-11 is on, Kurt Busch is throwing down finishes. When they're not on, well, both cars suck. So
All right. Unfortunately, because he is a points leader, I got to do this. Now, this is hurt my pride, but I got he's just been too consistent up front, and hopefully that changes soon. But as for now,
you're not biased.
No, I still can't stand him.
No, but right. Zach, like I was saying though, that points gap has closed up after Sonoma, which I mean, I know Chase Elliott was a top 10 car, but 8th place on a road course, not exactly what we're looking for out of the 9 in the road races. But after Sonoma, Chastain's only 16 points back. Kyle Busch 23 back. Joey Logano 30 back. Ryan Blaney is 25 back, even though he doesn't have a win. So, I mean, this regular season points championship, and what is it, the 15 playoff points that come along with it, I believe, to the regular season points champion. Correct. That is very much up for grabs. Whereas, you know, a month and a half ago, I feel like as recently as that, we were sitting here looking at Chase Elliott, you know, he's 60, 70 points ahead of everybody else. So the 9 car's got some people coming to catch him there atop the standings.
All right. Austin Cindric, I think he just playoff win, but as far as that, what else has he done really this year? He had, I think he finished top 5 last year.
He feels like outside looking into me, except he's in the playoffs because he won the Daytona 500. Like you said, what else has he done? Not a lot.
And I think Briscoe, again, the same boat. I mean, he's got his win, but again, what has he done besides Rick Reddick at Bristol?
Oof.
Yeah, it still hurts.
That was a low blow.
Now, here's a guy, Chris Collins. Jesus, why did I do that? Okay, the 11 car. The 11 car, he's got 2 wins he done. He's 21st in points. He's behind Eric Jones. He's behind Michael McDowell in points.
Is he really?
Yes. McDowell's 20th in points. Hamlin.
He is. He's 5 behind. Holy shnikes. But on the playoff seeding, Denny Hamlin would be the 6th seed if the playoffs started today because he's got 2 wins.
Yeah.
That just shows how the dynamics of, you know, these NASCAR playoffs and the standings have all changed here as they've adjusted the scoring and the rules over the years. But I would agree with you.
I'm going to Mr. backed into a win is going to go into championship material. It's still Kyle Busch. He still knows how he can still find his way at the top of the points and get wins when needs to be. And I feel like he can get it done. He's in a contract year, so of course he's going to go out and try everything he can. And right now, he's only got 1 win on the year, and it was at Bristol. So,
Zach, did you know that since Kyle Busch backed into his win, thanks to Chase Briscoe wiping out Tyler Reddick on the dirt at Bristol.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Including that win, there have been 8 NASCAR Cup Series races. That was the midway point of the first 16 here before we had the bye. Kyle Busch has been top 10 in how many? 6 of those races, and 5 of them, including the win, he was no worse than 3rd. Kyle Busch is easily the class of the JGR camp to me. And spoiler alert, I think it's the least popular, least known, least talked about of the 4 Gibbs cars, who, for my money, has easily been number 2 to Kyle Busch. But we'll get to him in a bit.
Actually, well, let's get to him right now. Are you talking about the 19?
No, sir, I am not.
Well, I lean towards playoff caliber for him, only because he doesn't have that win yet. He's only top 10 in points. He's not deep into the playoffs really. He doesn't have the playoff points back him yet. I can only put him in playoff caliber.
He's like saying that he might be done at the end of this year. Like, all of a sudden, because it's an up and down season, new car, like Martin Truex Jr. may retire. Like what? I don't like the vibes coming off of that 19 team. I know he's solidly in the field right now in points. He's sixth in points, just standings points alone. He'd be the 10 seed if the playoffs started today. He's got 3 stage wins, but nothing's guaranteed until you get that win. And I feel like a lot of the best runs for Truex this year came in the earlier part of the season. So lately it's been very much up and down. One week they'll have a fast car, but same thing. All these pit road penalties. I feel like, what was it, Kansas maybe? They had to drive their way through the field like 3 different times because they're just speeding penalty, loose tire, like all this crap. So,
and this is not something you want to see if you JGR. 3 of your drivers only in playoff caliber, because Bell is 15th in playoff standings right now. He's only in by points, and as we've seen, as I have alluded to in the past, when this schedule shifts from Fox to NBC, there's usually one driver who goes from in to out, and it could happen again this year.
And you're saying it's Christopher Bell?
I'm not saying it could be, it couldn't be, but I'm just saying watch it again, because I think it was Suarez last year was in the playoffs and fell out. This year,
was Buescher last year. I remember that one well. He died when we went to NBC.
Yeah, I think it was. They also said Suarez too for
maybe, yeah.
But again, I don't know what it is. Can't explain it, but it's there.
All I'm gonna say, Christopher Bell, currently 10th in the point standings overall. That's just standings. I know you said he's 15th playoff seed. It's because he doesn't have any stage wins. He has no playoff points. He has no race wins.
He's got 1.
He's got 9 top 10s this season, Zach. This is why I'm saying Christopher Bell has been the second best JGR car all season. You know who has the most top 10s in the Cup Series? That's Kyle Busch with 11. Kyle Busch has 6 top 5s. Christopher Bell has 4. Martin Truex Jr. has 2 top 5 finishes this season. Denny Hamlin, where is he? Denny Hamlin, are you even on this top 10 list I'm looking at? Oh, you got 3 top 10s and 3 top 5s, and 2 of Denny Hamlin's 3 top 10s have just so happened to be wins, one of which he kind of stole at Richmond. Christopher Bell has easily been the second most consistent JGR car. He is capable of winning a race. He's capable of winning a road course race. Christopher Bell makes the playoffs. One way or another, he gets in. I'm telling you. For my money, lately, with all the top 10 finishes he's been having, if Kyle Busch wasn't doing what he's been doing, Christopher Bell's been one of the best cars, most consistent cars here the last, 6, 7 races in the entire series, I would argue.
Yeah.
Feel free to disagree, but that's just me coming in.
No, I don't see him moving into deep into the playoff. Like maybe round of 8, but I don't see him going to the championship 4. Okay. 90. He's 17th in points, I believe, somewhere back there. He's not making the championship 4.
Don't think so?
No.
Yeah, but he got that win. He popped the bottle there at Sonoma, so is he going to go on a run here? He's got other stage wins this year. He's got that same equipment as Chastain.
24. I think we're going to move fast here. So, 24, I don't think he can do it. Unfortunately, I have a futures ticket on Alex Bowman because I thought he would surprise some people this year. Doesn't look like that's going to happen this year. But, so I think both those HMS cars go into playoff caliber. We have 3 drivers left. So, who do you want to start on?
I'm going to start with the guy who doesn't have a win, and that would be the 12 of Ryan Blaney. But I mentioned those point standings. He's only 25 back of Chase Elliott, who currently leads the point standings. I know he doesn't have a win yet, But think about how he closed last year's regular season, won at Michigan, won at Daytona, back-to-back, went into the playoffs with all kinds of momentum. Ryan Blaney, to me, this year, he's fast enough on a weekly basis. He's quietly not terrible on some of these road courses. He was 6th, I think, 2 weeks ago at Sonoma. Ryan Blaney's a championship contender to me.
I disagree. He doesn't have wins yet. This car, yes, he had that stretch at the end of last year, but it's a different car. There's new variables that go into it, and I think that this team really doesn't have it yet. Like his teammate in the 22, who has gone out and they won the first race in this car. They won at Gateway. I think the 22 is more likely to be championship material, and the 5 is with his teammates. Because
whoa!
We have not seen him perform like he did last year. We did not. We have not. I have not seen. I don't see Larson like what he did last year. He hasn't been himself. Granted, he didn't really come on until he went to NBC. Like he won maybe 1 or 2 races in on Fox, but then really turned on when they went to NBC. Maybe that's what happens this year. But as of right now, through the 16 races that we have seen, that 5 car is only playoff caliber.
All right. Allow me to chime in here. Ross Chastain has 7 top 5s this season, Mr. McAdoo. There's only 2 drivers who are 1 back of him with 6. That would be Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson. There are only 2 drivers who have 5 top 5s, and that would be Blaney and Logano. Larson has 8 top 10s. That's just as many as Blaney. That is 1 more than Joey Logano, who you just put in as a championship contender. Kyle Larson is winning polls if Cliff Daniels decides not to
polls don't get award points.
Sonoma.
This is an F1.
He's 60 back. He's only 60 back. He's got to win. He's definitely going to win at least 1, probably 2 more races before the season ends. Come on, man.
I was trying to limit to 4, but we kind of screwed that because you and I had different.
It's only halfway. We got 10 races to go, though. Like we're good. We'll eliminate them. Don't worry. We're still learning.
There you have it. There you have it, folks. The tier list for championship material, all the way down to people who are not applicable for this, with 10 races to go in the NASCAR.
I've got 6 in. Zach's got 5.5 in. I think I convinced him halfway on Larson because he moved him up.
I'm still not convinced on Blaney. I can't.
Oh yeah, Blaney maybe only got 5.
I'm still not sold on Blaney.
Half.
I can see Larson because he really didn't come alive until late in the year, but then again, I gotta see what he like. It's not the same as what he did last year, really.
It's not the same. But I think that's in general, right? Like you've got just more parity across the board. You know what I will say though, and this hit me when you put Byron and Bowman in just playoff caliber, and I didn't even know what you were going to do with Larson at that point, but I agreed with you wholeheartedly on the 2 of them. Hendrick Motorsports started the year strong. Lately, it's kind of wishy-washy. Not nearly the caliber of season for that organization that they had a year ago. And I know we're working in a new car and that such, but based on the fast start, I think a lot of people were, just kind of expecting the same thing. And slowly, the Gibbs Toyota's caught up with them, I think first. And then here at some of these different track layouts, the Fords have been running very well as well. So.
Yeah, so that's it for that. So we'll stop sharing that and we'll move on.
All right. Zach, I got one question for you just to follow up on our tiers. We're going to talk Ally 400 race-specific betting anyway, so let's warm up. We got championship futures. we're looking for betting value. I was hunting the odds boards last week, given it was a bye week. I was putting some columns together, trying to find some odds I liked. So I'm giving you 3, and I'll give you the best odds that I had from across the U.S. market, several books I was using, and you're going to tell me which one you want to bet the most. Okay? All right. Now we're not going with short guys here either. Like we're taking some double-digit championship odds. We can always hedge out of these later. Chase Briscoe, 22-1. Christopher Bell, 30-1. Daniel Suarez, 33-1. Who would you bet on at those prices of those 3? Who were all in playoff caliber. Was that the tier? They're all in that second tier. And the prices, I would say, reflect that. They're not the shortest shots by any means. But that's a decent return. And all 3 of them, well, 2 of the 3, Bell has not won a race yet, but he's definitely an equipment that can get that race win. 2 of the 3 have won a race, so are technically locked in unless we get more than 16 winners. And then you got Christopher Bell sitting there, who's been one of the most consistent drivers this season.
I would have to say, I don't see, again, I'm not, Bell don't have the wins to back it up. So you got to go with the guys who can get the win in this car.
That's fair.
And
Briscoe won at Phoenix, by the way, which is where the title race is.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you go with Briscoe, he's got that win at Phoenix where they're going to be later in the year. So he's going to have the most, like, knowledge of how to get there. So why not take a chance on him, considering if he can make it there, he's got the knowledge of how to get back to the front and win the race. So wouldn't be a bad choice there.
Yeah. No, I liked all of them. That's why I was asking you. They were all ones I felt like I could say, oh yeah, there's value here. But all right.
Yeah, but we've all but stopped betting here because we get taxed too much.
Yeah, that's a you problem these days because I'm out west. We talk some Ally 400 as the NASCAR Cup Series makes its second ever appearance at Nashville Super Speedway. This race debuted last year, and of course Kyle Larson was your winner. He pretty much, for the most part, I'd say thoroughly dominated the 300-lap feature. Nashville Super Speedway, not to be confused with the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, which is where the Cup Series used to run in Nashville. That's where SRX currently runs. Allegedly, NASCAR may be returning to the fairgrounds at some point. Didn't we talk about that? Some lady was all said that they were going to be too loud when she was trying to.
There are 5 perfectly good F1 and NASCAR tracks within an hour of Nashville. No, there's not. There's not. There's Nashville Speedway. No. You have. I'll give you the street course of Nashville because that's where IndyCar ran last year. That I didn't get to see because you and I were at Watkins Glen. But that's 2. You're still missing 3 there, lady. But go. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no. I'm right there with you. Anyway, Nashville Super Speedway is now owned by Speedway Motorsports, and all 3 NASCAR National Series will be in action there this weekend. The trucks, the Xfinity, and the Cup Series. This is the 8th week in a row that there's been a truck series race. Those guys and girls have got to be ready for a break. They never run 8 weeks in a row. Anyways, the surface of Nashville Super Speedway is concrete. Track length 1.333 miles, and there are, of course, 4 turns. The turns are tight though. And there's very little banking. So,
and racing the track on NASCAR Ignition sucks.
Yeah, you're going to be looking for guys who have done well at some flatter tracks in terms of banking. Obviously, the concrete surface, that's really only comparable to Dover on the schedule. Bristol was dirt, so the next-gen cars have not run on Bristol and concrete. But Dover's extremely banked compared to Nashville. So, really, it's almost in a class of its own. But anyways, your thoughts, any additional thoughts on the track, anything else you wanted to throw in there? And then what's next? I forgot, again, how to host. Do we have a rundown?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I didn't do it this week. Is this where we're talking about DFS? Because
Sure.
all right,
That sounds great.
I think we're just to the point where
daily
you and I,
fantasy sports.
yeah, we've done this. You and I are like, we're back and like we're tired of this already because we haven't done it so long. Okay, DFS, the two drivers who I think you need to have in your lineup are Ross Chastain because he finished second here last year. You got 10,500, and then William Byron who finished third last year. Both like Chastain had a top 10 last week, and Byron, which it was so much, so it really doesn't matter. But like Byron's been on a top 10 streak again. I feel like for a lot of this year, first to get to 2 wins, maybe he gets his third this week because. Like, if you run up front, very well. He ran up front last year. Maybe he gets it done this year. And then 2 drivers who I think you do not want to have in your lineup are Denny Hamlin because the inconsistencies, again, with him and didn't run well here last year. And Martin Truex Jr., again, didn't get well here last year. So.
Okay. So, here's my question for you. How much stock are you putting in last year's race with a different car when you're looking at odds DFS for this weekend?
Not a lot because when I wrote of course we write the articles before they practice and qualify. Mm-hmm. So you need to take that into consideration when reading us because again, we don't have the data because practice just ended while we were talking here. We don't have that data. I'm not going to go back and change it now because it's already up. Too much work. Oh. But so like we can't like take some of what we say into consideration when it comes to this because I think because Harvick had how many wins at Phoenix and like so you're gonna go out and pick him a lot for DFS. How many times does Kyle Busch went and won Bristol? So you're gonna take that in consideration. Like you're gonna take all these into consideration for like past historical events. You have to put that in consideration a little bit. And I'm tired of saying consideration. I'm sure everyone else is tired of hearing it.
A little bit. There was a little consideration fatigue there. But, like, I guess what Zach's really trying to get at is because we write before practice, before qualifying. Somebody crashes in practice and has to go to a backup car. You know, the odds that we're referencing in the articles don't necessarily reflect that. So you do have to use practice qualifying in conjunction with, you know, stats. What any NASCAR analysts that you're reading or watching for that matter are saying and who they're feeling on a given week, that sort of thing. All right. I guess as far as your DFS picks, I agreed with Chastain. Wasn't so hot on Byron. Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr., they're just too inconsistent for me in general, so I guess I'm fine with leaving them out. Did you have a value play? Like a cheap guy?
So this is a guy who I think we both talked up in the tiers.
Okay.
And Chris Buescher, I think he's starting to come alive with a $6,100 tag. I think he's a guy. He didn't run many laps last year because he wrecked out early, but I think he's still a guy who could very well like. I think RFK is going to start to turn a corner here. Maybe they make a run towards the playoffs, and I want to be on that ride, so I'll take a chance here.
I don't like it. Buescher was 36, but he got wound up in an accident last year. So, you know, Quinn Houff was driving in last year's race, so you never know what could have caused that. Looks like Blaney got knocked out early as well. All right. Should we look at some betting odds to win here? The Ally 400. I'm going to use DraftKings here on the show. If you want a betting promo code, some free money, check out my betting article when that comes up over at flurrysports.org. That'll have a either like a first deposit match bonus. I forget exactly what the code is for Bovada, but anyway, it's free money. So take advantage. But
that's something you probably should talk to Bruner about before we go on air.
Yeah, well, again, I'm trying to remember how to host. Okay, I'm sorry.
Failure.
DraftKings odds to win here. Zach, no surprise, defending race champion Kyle Larson is the favorite, plus 450. And we've got, let's see here, the first 5 guys that I am looking at on this board were all drivers we put in the championship contenders tier just a moment ago. We got Kyle Busch, plus 750, Ross Chastain, 8-1. Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott are both 9-1. I guess we can lump William Byron in there, old Willie B, because you liked him for DFS, so why not? He's 10-1. The hell are you doing playing with bubble wrap?
Yes.
You're on air.
Yeah, what's your point?
Oh my goodness.
I literally every time we come on air, I have to find something to fidget with. I've been sitting here playing with my sunglasses the whole time. Or
your goddamn fidget spinner. Bubble wrap. Everyone can hear you. It's a podcast.
I don't know where my fidget spinner went. I lost it.
Do you like any of the favorites?
Oh yeah, I like I said, I like Chastain. I like Byron too. So yeah, I mean,
hometown race for Trackhouse Racing, baby.
It's not a hometown race.
Yeah, it is. Their race shop was in Nashville last year. Okay, I don't know what the deal is now that they bought Chip Ganassi. I think they're mostly in Charlotte, but like the shop is still in Nashville. There is still a Trackhouse Racing facility, okay? And Tootsie's is going to be on the car. I'm not picking my favorite driver to win this week or anything, but like, you know, I mean, it's a hometown track for the team of the year. All right, I'm going to keep going here before I just dig myself into a deeper hole. Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick is 12-1.
In Concord, North Carolina.
Holy cow. Okay.
I told you that it was in Nashville.
I'm just going to ignore that. What are your thoughts on Tyler Reddick at 12-1? That's a line move, too, actually, from earlier in the day. I believe he was like 15-1.
Too high, considering what he did last year and how he spun off a pit road.
I feel like every week people in the NASCAR betting community are just like, oh, this is the week for Tyler Reddick, and then nope.
And that's probably why I won't see a Reddick win in a while. Thanks, guys.
At least Zach's more reasonable about it. Joey Logano is at 15-1. I kind of like that's not a bad price on Joey Logano, if I'm being honest with you. Where did he wind up? He was a top 10 car a year ago.
And he won at Gateway, which is what you were going back to for like flat tracks.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say is kind of comparable this week. Christopher Bell is 20-1. So is Kurt Busch. Alex Bowman 25-1. Daniel Suarez, Bubba Wallace, Chase Briscoe, Kevin Harvick, all 30-1. Oh boy. Zach McAdoo, I am all about like this 25-30-1 range this week, if I'm being completely honest. And you might be calling me crazy, but Daniel Suarez, 30-1. He's got momentum. Again, Trackhouse Racing, their hometown race. You never know. We have got Chase Briscoe, who won at Phoenix. That's a flat track. We got Kevin Harvick, who needs a win to get into the playoffs. So, to be honest with you, I like the Fords a lot this week too, because it seems to me that Ford has just been stronger. Even go back to last year on some of these flatter, shorter distance tracks. Joey Logano just won at Gateway. Joey Logano won at Darlington. Chase Briscoe won at Phoenix. So, I don't know. Eric Almirola, Kevin Harvick were 4th and 5th here a year ago. Daniel Suarez was also a top 10 car for Trackhouse in 7th. So, I don't know. I like a lot of guys here in this range. Am I nuts? I really like Kevin Harvick.
No, I mean, Suarez had a good run here last year, so did Harvick. So, I mean, you're not out of the realm of possibilities that one of these guys could go up and get a win. So, I mean, if with them longer odds, you're making a lot more money if they do so. I mean, take a shot.
I also would need to know, I guess, what exactly The deal is with Bubba Wallace, whose odds are now 30-1 after he was 100-1 literally a couple hours ago. So potentially a strong practice run there. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is 60-1. He's another guy I just want to throw out there because he finished sixth in this race a year ago. And then we get into dollar and a dream territory, Zach. Who are we thinking this week? We've got Chris Buescher, who you said is a value play in DFS. He's 200-1 right now at DraftKings. Brad Keselowski is 100-1. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. AJ Allmendinger is running this race in the 16th for calling 100-1. His teammate Justin Haley 250-1. Your boy Cole Custer, who does everything, 250-1. Michael McDowell 500-1. Don't sleep on that 34 team, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of top 10 finishes this year. We got Ty Dillon is 1,000-1, along with each of Harrison Burton, Josh Bilicki, Corey LaJoie, Cody Ware, BJ McLeod, JJ Yaley, and Todd Gilliland.
In all honesty, I'm not against going with Justin Haley.
JJ Yaley?
Why are you saying JJ Haley? It's JJ.
Oh,
it's
I thought I was reading your mind. Sorry. Who?
No, Justin Haley. I feel like calling. They got a win already last year, surprising everyone in the Indy. So I'm not against going. Like maybe Justin Haley has something for him.
All right. Justin Haley, dollar a dream.
At 251.
It's not a bad price, but you can get 1,000-1 on Cody Ware. I'm just saying. In terms of other picks, because practice is going on, the live odds board does not have them up. I can tell you that in my column, you will be able to read about Daniel Suarez as the long shot in Group D at plus 320. He's up against, in that group, Zach, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, and wait for it. All these guys are 260 or lower, by the way. Daniel Suarez, who just won at Sonoma, hanging out there at 320. It's too good for me to pass up. Kevin Harvick, Chase Briscoe, and Kurt Busch. What do you think of that?
I mean, out of the four, Suarez isn't a bad one. I mean, again, Kurt Busch. I mean, you said it was Kurt Busch, right? Not Kyle.
Kurt Busch, yes.
Yeah. So I mean, 23XI's had major inconsistency so far. So I mean, you don't know where he's going to end up on the board. Kevin Harvick has been hit or miss for the team. By team, I mean the pit crew, not SHR. So I mean, yeah, Suarez might not be a bad play there.
All right. Let's see what else do I have in here. Top Toyota finisher. That's another pick you can find in my article when it comes out. FlurrySports.org. That'll be up tomorrow. I've got the favored Toyota driver. That would be Kyle Busch at 2-1. I think my reasoning in liking that pick, Zach, is simply because who's challenging it? We talked about how Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., it's week to week. Christopher Bell's been consistent, but his level of consistency is a step below Kyle Busch, I guess you could say, recently with all these top threes for the 18 team. Kurt Busch, Bubba Wallace. What do you think?
You said it was Larson 2-1?
Top Toyota.
Oh, top Toyota.
Kyle.
Where the hell did Kyle Larson come from? Jesus
Rowdy Christ. Kyle Busch.
Oh, my God. I'm falling asleep already. Kyle Busch to be the top Toyota. I mean, we already took out Hamlin and Truex because of their inconsistencies. And then we talk about 23XI's inconsistencies too. So, I mean, you're just down to Bell and Busch. So, I mean, at 2-1, I don't like the price, but I mean, probably you probably do want to go Busch there because he's probably going to be the top finisher there. Because he did win the Xfinity Series race last year, so maybe.
Okay. That's fair enough. Speaking of Kyle Larson, though, since you brought him up, I guess we can close with this. Obviously, he's the betting favorite. He's one of the highest priced, if not the highest priced guy in DFS. I've yet to get over to DraftKings DFS and check that out. Kyle Larson lost a wheel 2 weeks ago at Sonoma, though, Zach. So that means Cliff Daniels is suspended for 4 races, including this one. This is the first of 4. What impact does that have as far as how you're approaching Larson this week? The defending Ally 400 winner, no impact, some impact. Because Cliff Daniels, for the most part, we've talked about this before, right? When crew chiefs get suspended, well, they can just text in, whatever. They watch the race at home. They're on the phone the whole time. It's whatever. Not a big deal. Cliff Daniels, though, his presence atop the box, I feel like is a little bit more meaningful than some of these other crew chiefs, I would argue, in NASCAR. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that whole situation?
It has no impact until you realize that Cliff Daniels is probably one of the better motivational speakers on top of the pit box when it comes to crew chiefs. So, I mean, when it comes to crew chiefs, he might actually be in a better stance because he's got one of these. He's just going to text over and be like, hey, do this for Larson, this, from HMS. And they've got their, and I'm sure HMS is a better team than RCR. No respect to Richard Childress, but it is what it is. And even RCR has their own little command center of everything that is going through the race. So Hendrick's going to have all that data from every driver, and Cliff Daniels is going to be there and be able to relay that to who's ever on the pit. I don't remember who's on the pit box this week for Larson, but he'll be able to help him out when he can. So, I mean, to me, I think it's a nothing doing other than it's just he'll be in a different spot.
I want to have I need to hire Cliff Daniels as a motivational speaker. Have him just record calls and then get a call from Cliff Daniels every morning when I wake up. To your point, he is he's amazing.
Back to the Coca-Cola 600. It's okay.
Yes,
we've been on fire. We've been to the field 3 times. That's only half the race. Now is the real race. We're just gonna go to the front. And sure enough, they were there at the end until they got wrecked by Austin Dillon. So, I mean, to his credit, he knows what he's doing.
Precisely. Cliff Daniels has a second career as a motivational speaker. I would get his app. I would sign up for the daily morning phone calls. Give me some motivation, Cliff Daniels.
Too much money.
That's true. Do you want to touch on SRX, which opened up last weekend quick, and then we can sign off here?
Yes. So, as some of you saw, Helio Castroneves, it's not Helio like I thought it was last year when we did our picks for the Indianapolis 500, which someone
really?
Someone picked him right, but he pronounced the name wrong.
Helium Castroneves.
Helio Castroneves went on and won the race at Five Flags Speedway. All the drivers were hot. They had to have a longer break, I feel like, because of the heat. Because you saw Ryan Newman, Tony Stewart, Paul Tracy looked like he was going to die. Bill Elliott, who's 66, is in the car, sweating, he's old. He's older than everyone else, so he can't be in the heat that long. So you're laughing, but these guys are sitting in the car dying. So I mean, it was rough for them. I know.
But listening to you describe it is just all right. Continue.
But I'm sure it was a rough race for all of them. Ryan Newman got a podium in his first race. I don't remember who got third.
Oh, great.
Wait a minute. It might have been Newman who got third, but I think it was whoever was the guest driver that week for Five Flags ended up getting second, somehow getting past Ryan Newman, which I was happy because I was like, holy crap, he actually moved Newman out of the way because Ryan Newman's hard to pass than a kidney stone. This week, they return to South Boston. This week, they go to South Boston for the second race tomorrow on CBS and Paramount Plus at 8 o'clock.
Alan Bestwick on the call.
Yes.
Where is South Boston Speedway? Because it's not south of Boston.
It's not south of Boston. It is South Boston, Virginia. And if you read the article that went up today on Flurry Sports.
Shameless plug right there. Oh, it's been great to be back. This was fun.
It was long. It felt long. Giggity.
It was some mental exercise for both of us trying to remember how to do this, but hey, perhaps
we're back, and hopefully we don't forget to do this more.
Hopefully not. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Those of you who watched live, we will get the audio version of this podcast back up and running as well. So make sure to check that out wherever you get yours. Did you just point at Tyler Reddick like I was supposed to do something with that? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I was just going to the 8.
He ain't winning this week, Zach. Sorry. Anything else, sir, before we sign off? This was fun to do with you again. Had a blast.
Yep.
I missed you.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
I still miss you because you're somewhere where you got to pay a lot of taxes, and I'm not.
Yeah. Just look at my paychecks the last couple of weeks. You can definitely tell.
I'm sorry. No income tax here.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's why I knew you moved out there. But it is what it is. I mean, we'll see what we can do and get out of here. But
yeah, hey, I may be moving again soon though. You never know. But the place I'm looking at also has no income tax, so
yeah, I love Buffalo, but New York State is too much.
It is. All right. This has been an episode of Burnt Rubber Racing. We're back. Allegedly. Will we be back again? Who knows?
Or will
Stay
one
tuned.
of us die?
Make sure to subscribe to Flurry Sports YouTube too.
And also twitch.tv/Matthew316.
This YouTube channel's hopping. All right. Later, everyone.